Let me give you a peep into the Nigerian political scenery. If you're privileged to have background in political science, international relations, history, public administration, you understand that what you are being taught is an ideal situation of how systems work around. But the Nigerian political scenery and vis-a-vis the African political atmosphere is not an ideal situation. And this was deliberately created by our local politicians, of course, aided by scripts handed over to them by the colonial masters to ensure that the political situation is tensed. Now, remember, of course, it was Mao Zedong that said that politics is war without bloodshed, and why war is politics without bloodshed. That literally represents how our environment thrive, how our society, how we play politics, and why politics that we play in Africa is different from what is played around the world. And of course, the Chinese revolutionary and politician wasn't mistaken. Just the same way Isaac Asimov said very clearly that violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. So these guys understand clearly that they do not have the prowess, the wherewithal to play politics in the way they're supposed to play, because they will not stand a chance. And because they will not stand a chance, they need to war zone it, make it a battle, make it a war that you can't come in. And coming around to remember that Plato had said that the penalty, one of the severest penalties of not participating in politics, is that you be led by your inferiors. Now, the inferiors and the incompetent, marrying what Ashimo said now, would not strive to ensure that politics is a war zone, so that the competent, the skilled, the good be able to stay away. I sat before some politicians, 2023, 2024, 2023 general elections and 2024 Edo elections, and I could tell you for a fact, the Nigerian political scenery is messed up. So when you see some of us talk with the passion and vigor that we do, it's a whole lot of work that needs to be done. Nigeria will take 20, 30, 40 years of redemption, but that redemption cannot actually start when we begin to review our constitutional process. The Constitution of Nigeria currently has been used to govern Nigeria is the foundation for our mess. And you can't blame the people that handed over that constitution to us, military rulers that wanted to see have a say in the running of things, because they didn't trust the political class so much. So they put a lot of military insert, too many authoritarian, dictatorial, and some not so democratic rules to govern the people, because of course they were military men. So, and in the account of so many of our politicians, they said that the government of Olusegun Obasanjo and other elected governors and officials of that particular transition to civilian rule in 1999 may not have even seen the constitution until they were about to be inaugurated. That tells the bane of why we are where we are. And unfortunately, nobody has taken the pain to review that constitution, because the current scope of politicians or crop populations that we have are trained themselves based on that particular constitution. So literally trying to tear that constitution to make Nigeria transition into a new constitutional era and a more democratic constitution would be counterproductive for them, because that is what they have been built with. That is what they are prepared. The current political, let's even say it. I sat before a governorship candidate that was contesting for the office of governor of Edo State, and then we spoke at length, and then he told me that he's also consulted some political figures, and one of the key political figures who've been in politics in 1999, told him that to win an election in Nigeria, no matter what you have done on the night of the election, you must have monies. In fact, I don't know if it's exaggerative, but I can tell that it will not be far from the truth. He was told that if he wants to become the governor of Edo State, on the eve of the election, he should have at least a cash put beside him in his lounge or in his sitting room before the elections. That you will see very many. You see that literal representation where somebody wants to go and pick a wife in the bride's home, the bride's father's home, and then you see people come and say, "Me dey go there, oh, there is stick here, oh, something block am, oh, come clear road." That is how literally in that particular hypothetical moment in your thought. That's how it happens in politics. You will see all forms of stumbling block that will be created by various aspects, various actors, various institutions. And if you want to win the elections, you must clear all these parts, or else no show. So politics in Nigeria, or to better put, elections in Nigeria are not won by the best of us. They are won by the greatest fighters, the biggest warriors, the people that are not ready to, and whatever you need to fight with, police will reach out to you. You'll be reached out to, say police, they will complain, no, or something is happening, you will block. A local government that you have in your pocket can be said to be slipping away if you don't put money. And that's how 200 million, 300 million area boys, canvassers, army, INEC officials. He literally was explaining, at the end of the day, must have that 20 billion and be ready to spend it. Because you can hear that the local government, that the voters, the accredited voters, or no, the people in the voters register in that local government were supposed not to be more than 100,000. And you know, of course, that you have 50,000 calculatively to get this election done. And you hear that they are manipulating there. And if care is not taken, they are going to give them 120,000 votes against you for your opponent. You have to put in money. That is the war zone of our politics. So when we begin to request, no matter what we are doing here as advocacy, the bigger picture is that Nigerians must now begin to come together to seek that the current scope, the current template upon which our elections and politics is run, that has been raised to the point of this level of war, should be brought down and made more democratic, so that smart people, young people, people with interest, people that have good hearts, people with good intentions. Because even if you have good intention, you join our politics as it were. Now, I just got off phone with somebody who thinks that I should contest 2027 elections. And as much as I'm interested in adding my own level of interest in the politics of the country, we have a very temetous, I don't know how to say it. The kind of politics we play in Nigeria would swallow any person. There are very many good people that are in our political space at the moment, but they were swallowed because of the kind of politics that we play. Should Nigeria ever get a chance to become a better country, we must review our templates, our processes, our procedures, our methodologies, our modus operandi, and generally the atmosphere of our politics to help people. How will I be able to save up money? It was in Edo State where a member, somebody lost House of Assembly election from a ward that produced 10,000 votes. A single ward produced 10,000 votes. That's how terrible our politics are. You don't understand. You don't get it. 10,000 votes from a ward. So if we truly want to have a country, the constitution, the acts, all of these rules that governs our processes should be the first that we should attack. So when we say we are seeking for electoral, the government is almost winding down. Politics have started. There is no way this government is going to pay attention to constitutional review and all other acts. The Police Act was even reviewed. So many things are being left untouched because it is the programming of what they have, the book, the plans, the procedures, that the document that they have planned themselves to get to power. That's what they're using to govern. So why are we asking for electoral review? At least that's the first port of call. Seeking to know that people that get to power now get to power from the people. Democracy is not democracy if the people did not send you there. So when the people send you there, the people can also request that we have long outgrown, or maybe degrown, because I don't know if we are going up this constitution. And if we will, for any reason, find a chance to become the country of our potentials, then we must do away with the current document that is called the 1999 Constitution. It wasn't written for our interest. It was written by a few persons who were myopic, who just wanted to have control, who just wanted to have interest, who just wanted to have some level of look over, like a supervisory look of what was happening. So they can take over just in case anything else happens. And now that we are ready to move, we must move with the right materials, with the right vehicle. And the 1999 Constitution has currently been documented, cannot take Nigeria anywhere. So much said. I'm out of here. I'll see you on the next one.